Hello ji, Namaskar, Salam, Sat Sri Akal. Wish you all a very warm welcome to this wonderful channel that is Unacademy NEET Elixir. I'm your very own Dr. Sachin Kapur. So what we are going to start today is Human Reproduction, very important chapter of class 12th syllabus, and we'll be discussing male reproductive system. I'm sure you all must be very excited for this particular topic. Are you? Press the like button to mark your attendance in my heart as well as on our channel. I wish you all a very, very warm welcome and I wish you all a very bright and prosperous future also. So I have this quotation for you people. Education is not the learning of facts, but the training of the mind to think. Albert Einstein. Many a time students they say that just teach us from NCERT only, exclusively NCERT lines. Please try to understand. NCERT is a syllabus guideline, right? You read NCERT, there must be certain questions which come into your mind, your curiosities. You need answers for all those questions and curiosities. As a responsible teacher, it is my duty that I should be able to satisfy your curiosities, your questions. We should develop critical thinking. Agreed? If you agree with me, hit the like button. Let me see who all are there for today's interesting session. Suvant Kumar, Aman Kumar, Sonu Kumar, Aditya Pandey, Aman Kumar, Akshit, Sarthak. Welcome, welcome, welcome everyone. So, I'm going to teach you in a very, very simplified English. So, you all are ready for that? No complex words, no intricate sentences, very simple English, which is even mentioned in NCERT also. Keep your notes copies ready so that if there is something which is very important and I tell you to note that down, so you have to do that. Is it clear? Can we start the session? Okay, so all my Raja Beta and Vani Betiyan, let's start with today's session. So we are going to discuss male reproductive system. As you can see on the screen also, students they always demand, sir, please show us wonderful animations and diagrams. So, here it is. Okay, ji. Class 12th, NCERT, Unit 6, Reproduction. Can you see what these structures are? Can you guess? These are the spermatozoa or the sperms which are swimming at a very fast rate. Once these sperms are deposited in the female reproductive tract, they survive only for 72 hours and their fertilizing ability is best for the first 48 hours. So they should encounter an egg cell within 48 hours. So that those 48 hours they are having their best ability to fertilize the ova. We'll be discussing all these things in detail. Nitya, Sagar, Namrata, Ishtiyaq, Ahmed, God bless you all. So I'm your very own Dr. Sachin Kapur with MPhil and PhD degree, more than 24 years of teaching experience, and I feel honored that I have this opportunity of saying that more than 10 lakh students and teachers have been mentored by me. No doubt, it was their own hard work also that now they are at a respectable position, not only in India but abroad also. So my aim is that you should also benefit from whatever knowledge, whatever information, whatever wisdom I have, I should be able to transfer it to you people also. Right? All my Raja Beta and Vani Betiyan, you should be familiar with your syllabus. When you open your NCERT class 12th, the old NCERTs, you will find chapter 1, 2, 3, 4, that is reproduction in organisms. Then you have sexual reproduction in flowering plants, human reproduction and reproductive health. These are the 4 chapters. In the latest editions of the NCERTs, you will find that the first chapter, reproduction in organisms, is not given. But that doesn't mean it will not be asked in NEET. But still, let's wait for a few more days. Once NTA declares the syllabus for the NEET 2024, then it will become clear. But still, I will be teaching this chapter also, reproduction in organisms, because Ishtiyaq Beta, it's a very simple chapter and we should know, right? Very simple things are mentioned in this chapter. So, we are going to start with the Human reproduction. This is how your NCERT looks like. So this image is here just to give you a feel of the NCERT. Okay guys, shall we start? Chaliye ji, let's start. Male reproductive system is located in the pelvic region. NCERT says it is located in the pelvic region. It has primary sex organs, which are testes. It has secondary sex organs. We'll be discussing those secondary sex organs in detail. So this is a kind of side sectional view, right? Side sectional view where you can see scrotum, testes, epididymis, the male copulatory organ penis, urethra, which is a urinogenital duct because urethra carries urine as well as semen. You can see ejaculatory duct, vas deferens, pubis symphysis. Just make yourself familiar with this diagram. That is more important. Clear hai ji? Right? Sonu Kumar, Akshit, Divya, wonderful. Whatever question comes into your mind, Manavendra Pratap, please feel free to ask me. You can send your questions in Hindi or in English or in English, whatever language you will send, I'll try to answer those questions. Now, this diagram is important. Why it is important? Because it is mentioned in NCERT. So, examiner can frame a question related to diagram also. Suppose this diagram is given and they ask you, what is this? They label it as X, they label this as Y, they label bulbourethral gland as Z. So you need to tell what is X, Y and Z. I am explaining you the importance of the diagrams. You can expect diagram based questions also in your exam. The PDF of the entire session will be shared with you people free of cost at our Telegram channel, Unacademy NEET Elixir, as well as you can follow me also on my Telegram group, that is Dr Sachin Kapur Talk. Doctor ka sirf DR, Dr Sachin Kapur Talk. I'll be sharing this PDF also. So make yourself familiar with this diagram. Try to practice, try to draw it, right? Once you draw it with your own hands, you will become much comfortable with all the diagrams which are mentioned in NCERT. I have so many diagrams to share with you people, so many animations also. Wonderful. Whatever diagram you say is wonderful and you are actually impressed by it, please do let me know in the chat box also. Right. Prince is saying, sir, please use the white background so that we can get the notes printed. Okay, Prince, I'll ensure this thing. I promise you in the next session itself, the background will be white for you people. I understand, because when you want to take a printout of this particular session, if the background is not white, then it becomes difficult for you people. I'll ensure this thing. Right? Sonu Kumar, thank you so much. God bless you. So, all my Raja Beta and Rani Betiyam, in this diagram, you can again see a frontal section of the male reproductive system and you can see a transverse section of the penis also. By showing these diagrams, I am making you comfortable with the subject. I want to acquaint you with the subject so that when you go to your higher classes, when you will be in the MBBS first year, you will see all these diagrams, wonderful diagrams in foreign author books. Okay. Another diagram, what does it show? It is showing the male copulatory organ, that is penis. Right? You know, the tip of the penis is called glans penis and it remains covered by a retractable fold of skin which is called foreskin. So in this diagram, we can see the testes which are hanging in the scrotum. We can see spermatic cord. You can see urinary bladder also. So such beautiful diagrams you will get only in my sessions. I promise you that. So if you are liking the session, if you are liking the diagrams, do let me know in the chat box also. And please do let me know that the kind of English which I am using, the way I am speaking, you are able to understand it properly. You are able to understand it properly. Do let me know that, guys. Okay, now let's come to the main point. My aim is that during the session itself, all these things should get imprinted in your mind. So please be attentive and be confident. Okay? World famous doctor banna hai. Male reproductive system, it includes primary sex organs and secondary sex organs. Primary sex organs are also called gonads and the male gonads are testes. Secondary sex organs include epididymis, vas deferens, seminal vesicles. So broadly we have classified, Namrata beta, Muskan beta, male reproductive system includes primary sex organs, secondary sex organs. A question can come into your mind, why we are saying that these are primary and these are secondary? There must be some reason why we say that testes are the primary sex organs. So now let's understand why we say they are primary sex organs. Very important lines, beautiful notes I have designed for you people. See, why we say that they are primary sex organs? Because these are directly involved in process of gamete production. Gametes are male sex cells, male gametes are sperms. So primary sex organs are directly involved in gamete production. They also produce male sex hormones, androgens. They produce sex hormones also. Male gonads are testes. There is a pair of testes. This diagram, again my Raja Beta and Rani Betiya, this is very important. Why it is important? Because this diagram is very much there in your NCERT. Examiner can frame a question based on the diagram, based on the labeling. So once you have drawn the diagram on your own, or at least you have practiced the labeling, then there are better chances that you will retain this information in your brain. Shubham says they produce gametes and sex hormones. Vashu Pundir, Muskan, Sagar, Soni, wonderful. So primary sex organs are directly involved in gamete production as well as production of male sex hormones. Now the question comes, which are the secondary sex organs and why we say that they are secondary sex organs? There must be some reason that why we are saying that they are secondary sex organs, and the reason is secondary sex organs are not directly involved in gamete production. They are not producing the gametes. Then what they are doing? See, these help in transportation, maturation and storage of gametes. Testes have produced the gametes. Continuously sperms are being produced. Lakhs and lakhs of sperms are produced every day. Every time they are not ejaculated from male body. Then where do they go? They remain stored. Where? Epididymis and vas deferens. So that is the function of secondary sex organs. Is it clear? Let me repeat. Secondary sex organs help in transportation, point number 1, maturation, point number 2, storage of gametes. Male stores sperms in the male reproductive system for many days. I'll let you know that also. In simple terms, you can say these assist in reproduction in some way. In some or the other way, they are helping in reproduction in a generalized way, we can say. What are the different secondary sex organs of the male? Epididymis, number 1. Vas deferens, also called ductus deferens. Number 3. Ejaculatory duct. Number 4, seminal vesicles. Number 5, prostate gland. And number 6 is Copper's glands. Can anyone tell me what is the other name for Copper's glands? All my Raja Beta, Rani Betiyam, Akshita Rawat, Nitya Prerana. Simplified English, you are able to understand? Understand, right? Send me a thumbs up sign in the chat box if you are able to understand each and every point. And if you are enjoying the session, I want likes on the session. When you press the like button, you mark your attendance in my auricles and in my ventricle. It directly hits my SA node, right? All my Raja Beta and Rani Betiya, Shivam has answered it correctly. Bulbourethral glands. Muhammad Farhan has also answered correctly. Bulbourethral. Shubham, Miram, Fatima, Kuldeep, Akshita, Durga Prasad. God bless you all. Let's move forward. Beautiful diagrams. Diagrams give you a clarity. The colored diagrams, colored pictures, visualization. That makes the concept more clear. And it also makes you feel attached attached with the subject. If you just read biology from NCERT lines, sometimes it becomes very boring. Those black and white sentences, there is no color, there's nothing which is moving in the NCERT pages, so that becomes really difficult. That's an additional burden on your brain. So what I have tried in these sessions is to make the things glorified, simplified, attractive, so that I can catch your attention. Right, guys? So in this diagram, you are able to see testes. You are able to see this duct which is called epididymis. It is attached with the testes. Epididymis, nearly 8 meters long, highly convoluted. Convoluted means folded. Highly folded tubule attached with the testes. There are different regions of epididymis which are not mentioned in NCERT, but still I am telling you, caput epididymis, corpus epididymis, cauda epididymis. You can see this convoluted, vast difference. Convoluted means folded. Then this structure is what is the spermatic cord, which is carrying the blood vessels, arteries and veins. Okay, so now first we'll start with the primary sex organs, that is testes. Well, we know in majority of the mammals, testes are extra abdominal. Majority of the mammals, testes are extra abdominal. Now, when I say extra abdominal, what does it mean? It means testes are located outside the main body cavity in a pouch-like structure, and that pouch-like structure is what is called scrotum. Why testes are located outside the main body cavity in a pouch-like structure called scrotum? What is the reason for that? You will say, sperm production requires lower temperature. Let me tell you one important thing. Let me open the gyri and sulci of your cerebrum so that they can gather more information. It is not only about sperm production, right? Sperm storage, sperm maturation, sperm survival, everything requires lower temperature. Majority of the people will tell you only this thing. Sperm production requires lower temperature. Try to understand. Sperm storage, sperm maturation, sperm survival, everything requires lower temperature than the core body temperature. That is the reason the testes are located outside the main body cavity in scrotum. Right? Sumit says elephant has intra-abdominal testes. Yes, I'll discuss. There are exceptions. Some mammals have intra-abdominal testes also. Here it is written, in most of the mammals, testes are extra-abdominal because you should know the reason. Examiner can frame assertion and reason type of question. Nowadays, we find that they ask you assertion and reason questions also. Assertion says, in most of the mammals, testes are extra-abdominal. Reason, the reason is sperm production, sperm maturation, sperm storage, sperm survival. 4 things: production, storage, maturation, survival. It requires 2 to 2.5 degrees lower temperature. That is the reason that testes are located in scrotum. So in simple terms, we can say scrotum provides favorable environment for healthy sperm production. Is that point clear? Is that point clear? See, Sonu Kumar is one of my favorite students. He says, sir, pani pee lo thoda sa. Thank you so much, Sonu. You really care for me. God bless you. God bless you. By the time I am going to have a sip of water, I want all of you to press the like button. Keep asking your questions. Sarthak says, sir, please pen use kariye. Keep asking your questions also. It's going to be an interactive session between you and me. Okay, guys, shall we move forward? Okay, so you say that we can move forward. Someone was telling me that there are certain mammals in which testes are intra-abdominal. So I am coming to that point. In some mammals, there are some mammals in which testes are intra-abdominal. When I say intra-abdominal, it means they are located inside the main body cavity. Right? How they are able to produce sperms at high body temperature? We don't know. Still we don't know. How whale being a mammal, elephant being a mammal is capable of producing sperms at high temperature? We don't know. These include other examples, egg-laying mammals. You know which are the egg-laying mammals? Prototherians are the monotremes, duck-bill platypus, spiny anteater, echidna, elephants, and then whales, dolphins. They are capable of producing sperms at high body temperature also. One very interesting example, birds. Birds. In the entire animal kingdom, birds, class Aves, has the maximum body temperature. How birds are capable of producing sperms at high body temperature? Their testes are also intra-abdominal. They do not have scrotum. There are certain questions in science which are still unanswered. Okay, shall we move forward? Can we proceed? All my Raja Beta and Rani Betiyam, can you do one thing for me? I want you to share this lecture in all your groups with all your friends, whether they are from Hindi medium, English medium or English medium or any of the regional languages in India. I want that every person in India should watch these lectures. Okay, ji. All my Raja Beta and Rani Betiyam, let me tell you something. Shubham is asking for estrous cycle. Shubham, I'll discuss about estrous and menstrual cycle. Don't worry. Estrous cycle is in case of non-primate mammalian females. In estrous cycle, the uterine lining is not shed. It is absorbed within the body. That's a part of female reproductive system. I'll answer that. Now, let me tell you one thing. Just now, I told you that in humans, the testes are extra-abdominal, located in a pouch-like structure, which is outside the body. But when a male baby is developing in the uterus of his mother, at that time, when testes they start forming around 7th to 8th week of pregnancy, testes are intra-abdominal. They slowly migrate towards the scrotum as the pregnancy advances. So you should know this thing, right? This is important. Okay. Testes of the male baby are formed during 7th to 8th week of pregnancy, and at that time they are intra-abdominal within the main body cavity. Gradually, as the pregnancy advances, testes migrate to scrotum. They start migrating towards scrotum during 7th to 8th month of pregnancy. Please do not get confused. Testes formation, they are formed during 7th to 8th week. There's a difference. It's written week, it's written month. They are formed during 7th to 8th week of pregnancy and they are intra-abdominal, as you can see here. Then gradually testes, they start migrating towards the scrotum. They reach the scrotum during 7th to 8th month of pregnancy or sometimes at the time of birth of the male baby. Right? Sometimes at the time of birth of the male baby. But sometimes it happens that testes are not able to migrate into the scrotum. So there is a clinical condition. If you check the previous editions of the NCERT, this term was mentioned. Cryptorchidism. What is cryptorchidism? Failure of testes to descend into scrotum. It could be unilateral, it could be bilateral. One testis has not migrated to scrotum or both the testes have not migrated to scrotum. So at the time of birth of the male baby, the doctor will check that whether the testes are there in the scrotum or not. If testes are not there in the scrotum, then the doctor will advise the parents that we can wait for few months or 1 year or 2 years. Testes will automatically migrate to scrotum. But if they still do not migrate to scrotum, then there is something to worry. We need to perform a surgery, which as a doctor you will be performing if you are a surgeon. That surgery is Orchidopaxi. It's additional information. I want to satisfy all your curiosities. I want to give you this information because you are the future doctors. The surgery which is performed to correct cryptorchidism is called Orchidopaxi. Now you will ask me one question, that what is the need to perform this surgery? What will happen if testes remain in the abdomen for a longer duration of time? There will be a problem. The sperm producing germ cells, spermatogonia, they are very sensitive to high temperature. If testes remain in the abdominal region for a long duration of time, then sperm producing germ cells, spermatogonia, will be destroyed by high temperature. But hormone producing Leydig cells of testes are not affected by high temperature. So when such a male baby grows up, when he attains the age of puberty, he will not be able to produce sperms. If his testes are there in the abdomen and orchidopaxy has not been performed, he will not be able to produce sperms. So he will be sterile, but otherwise he will be a perfectly normal masculine male because hormone producing Leydig cells are not affected by high temperature. Tirath clear hai? Namrata, Vashu, God bless you all. आगे बढ़ते हैं. There are certain more terms which I wanted to tell you, because when you practice questions from different books by different authors, by different publishers, so sometimes they give you these terms and that really makes your mind curious that what are these different terms, because in every book you will not find questions strictly based on NCERT. Sometimes the authors, they give questions which are outside NCERT also, because they want you to know extra also. Synorchidism, congenital fusion of the testes. A male baby is born in which both the testes are fused right from the birth. That is called synorchidism. Syn means fusion. Monorchidism. Surprisingly, there can be certain humans which have a single testes also. A male is capable of producing sufficient number of sperms even with single testes. He can father a child. Surprisingly, polyorchidism, there can be more than two testes also. Have you ever heard of this clinical problem? Polyorchidism. Right, more than two testes. Orchitis, you should remember this term. Orchitis means inflammation of testes. If there is any kind of mechanical, biological injury to the testes, that results in orchitis. Hydrocele is a common problem among males. Accumulation of fluid in the testes. Hydrocele is common among those heavy weight lifters also, bodybuilders also. Fluid starts accumulating in the testes and then you need to perform a surgery to remove that fluid. Right? Sumit Yadav, Prince, Sumit says, likh karke padhaiye. Sumit, that is not possible because that is going to consume so much of time, my son. All these notes will be available to you in the form of beautiful PDF. I'll be sharing that PDF, right? Abid Ali, can we proceed? Have you heard of this thing, inguinal hernia? Have you heard of this inguinal hernia? Now, what is this inguinal hernia? Listen to me. I told you that testes, they migrate to scrotum at the time of birth of the male baby or during 7th to 8th week or 7th to 8th month of pregnancy. Once testes have migrated to scrotum, testes cannot go back into the abdomen. Why? Because in the inguinal canal के through testes are communicating with the scrotum. So inguinal canal gets blocked due to formation of connective tissue. So once testes have migrated to scrotum, they cannot go back into abdomen because there is formation of connective tissue in the inguinal canal. Sometimes due to improper closure of inguinal canal or rupturing of the inguinal canal, that connective tissue, there can be entry of a loop of intestine into the inguinal region. That is what is called inguinal hernia. This is also common in case of heavy weight lifters. When you are lifting very heavy weight from the ground, the pressure of the abdominal muscles can rupture the connective tissue of the inguinal canal and a loop of intestine can enter into inguinal region, resulting in inguinal hernia. That is the reason they always suggest you that you should wear tight undergarments or tight supporters or langot when you are doing those heavy weight exercises. That is very important. Scrotal support is required. Shubham is asking that why do we feel very strong pain in our testes when we get hit? I'll discuss about the nerve supply of the testes and certain plexus that will make it clear to you. I want you to press the like button. Those of you who have still not pressed the like button, you have not marked your attendance in my heart. And please do subscribe the channel also. So Raja Beta and Rani Betiya, let's understand what is inguinal hernia. Once testes have migrated to scrotum, these cannot go back into abdomen because inguinal canal gets sealed due to formation of connective tissue, but due to improper closure of inguinal canal, in certain cases right from birth the inguinal canal doesn't get closed properly, a loop of intestine can enter into inguinal region that results in inguinal hernia. As you can see here, in case of heavy weight lifters, what are the reasons of inguinal hernia? increased pressure within the abdomen. If certain people, they have constipation for a long period of time, and when they are defecating, they are applying pressure, that can also result in inguinal hernia. You are the future doctors. I want you to know all these things, right? I want you to open up the gyri and sulci of your cerebrum. In Hindi, I always say, दिमाग के कपाट खोल देने हैं. That's what I want. I will teach you each and every line of NCERT also. Once I complete this detailed discussion, then we will come to all those sentences of NCERT which can be framed as a question. My aim is not to just to, teach those sentences of NCERT. No, not at all. That's not what knowledge is. That is what just information is. I want to give you information, knowledge as well as wisdom. All my Raja Beta and Rani Betiyam. Regularly, I am taking sessions with you people every day 3 p.m. Dr. Sachin Kapur, Unacademy NEET Elixir. Increased pressure within the abdomen. Second, pre-existing weak spot if there is in the abdomen, straining during bowel movements or urination, right? If you're having difficulty in defecating, strenuous activity in pregnancy. Now you will say pregnancy in females. So females can also have inguinal hernia, that we'll discuss in case of females. Chronic coughing or sneezing, right? If the person is coughing every time, daily the person is doing that, that is also exerting pressure and can result in inguinal hernia. Okay, let's come to this term, orchidectomy. What is orchidectomy? Surgical removal of testes. Sometimes it happens in the old age. The prostate gland can develop cancer. And the reason for that cancer of prostate becomes the hormones secreted by testes in elderly people above 65 years of age, above 70 years of age. So in those cases, as a doctor, as a surgeon, you will tell the patient that I need to remove your testes. That is orchidectomy, right? Now, castration. You must have heard of this term, castration. Castration is a general term which is used for the removal of gonads. Gonads can be male gonads, that is testes. Gonads can be female gonads, that is ovaries. So castration is a general term, but more commonly castration term is used for removal of testes. But you can castrate a female animal, you can castrate a male animal. The exact precise medical term for the removal of testes is what is orchidectomy, right? It's written. The term castration is more commonly used for testes removal. Now, why do you need to remove the testes? Do you know the difference between ox and bull? Sand or bal? You know the difference? Ox and bull, bullfight. So, see, bull is quite aggressive, because of high level of testosterone. So, when you castrate the animal, when you crush the testes, when you remove the testes of the male animal, the animal becomes less aggressive, docile. Why? Because the level of testosterone hormone decreases. So when you castrate a bull, it becomes ox. Is this difference clear? Tell me, Anushka, Shubham. Shubham says we castrate the animal to make it docile. Correct. बिल्कुल सही. आगे बढ़ते हैं. Next. Where are the testes located? Okay, tell me, are you enjoying the session? Are you enjoying the session? What is your Josh level right now? Let's see. Yash Mehra. Location of testes. Where are testes located? In majority of the mammals, testes are located outside the main body cavity in a pouch-like structure. The pouch-like structure is called scrotum. You can see the two testes. Now, let me tell you one thing. Both the testes are not at the same location, right? There is a slight difference. The left testes might be hanging slightly lower, but there is no hard and fast rule. Why the location of the two testes is slightly different? Because when both the legs are very close together, the testes should not get crushed. That's the reason. Left testes hangs slightly lower than right. But the right can be hanging slightly lower than left also. It doesn't affect the sperm production or the masculinity in any of the ways. Right? So there's a slight difference in the position of the two testes. Scrotum helps in maintaining low temperature of the testes, lower than the normal internal temperature. Why? Necessary for spermatogenesis. What is spermatogenesis? Sperm production. In the beginning, I told you, sperm production, sperm storage, sperm maturation, sperm survival requires lower temperature than the core body temperature. right ji? Now testes, they communicate with the pelvic cavity by inguinal canal. Now what is this inguinal canal? Let me show you. Let me draw just a rough representation of scrotum, right? So this particular region, my future doctors, my Raja Beta, my Rani Betiya, this is what is inguinal canal. Testes migrate to scrotum through inguinal canal, and once testes have migrated to scrotum, they cannot go back to abdomen because there is formation of connective tissue in the inguinal canal that we have already discussed. Is that clear? Namrata? Namrata says, is it always necessary that left testis should hang slightly lower than right? No, Namrata, there is no hard and fast rule. Both the testes can be at the same position. Right could be hanging down in certain males. It doesn't affect the sperm production or the sexual desire in any way. Next point. Scrotal skin. Scrotal skin is highly pigmented, right? The pigmentation of the scrotal skin is quite rich. Scrotal skin is wrinkled also. We say rugose. It has hair also. We'll discuss those secondary sex characters. Now, if you look at the scrotum externally, it looks like a single pouch of skin separated into lateral portions by median ridge called the raphe. I'll again draw a diagram just to explain this thing, that when you externally look at the scrotum, you will find that there is a median ridge. This median ridge, externally it is called raphe. When you look from the external side, we call it raphe. Internally, if you dissect scrotum, you find there is a scrotal septum. There is a partition. Internally, there is scrotal septum. Septum means partition, which divides scrotum into two sacs, each containing a single testis. Suppose there is one testis this side. This is what is the vas deferens, right? So this has one testis, this will also have another testis. So externally you will see that you may not be able to make out that internally also there are two compartments, but when you dissect out the scrotum, right, then you actually see that it has two pouch like compartments. Now, testes are hanging in scrotum with the help of spermatic cord. What is this spermatic cord? Very easy to understand. Again, I am drawing a diagram. I really like drawing diagrams in biology. See, partition, one testis. This thing you can say is the spermatic cord. Can you draw the diagram side by side for your practice? This is spermatic cord. So I can say testes hang in the scrotum with the help of spermatic cord. One more thing, testes are also connected to the wall of scrotum, right? Testes are connected to the wall of scrotum by gubernaculum. If you are not able to remember this, don't worry. Once you will study Gray's Anatomy or Anatomy by B.D. Chaurasia Vishram Singh in MBBS first year, then you will remember me that Dr. Sachin has already taught us all these things. Testes are connected to wall of scrotum by gubernaculum. So two things we have learned. Testes hang in scrotum with the help of spermatic cord. Spermatic cord has blood vessels, lymph vessels, nerves. Testes also require oxygen, nutrition. So obviously through the spermatic cord there are blood vessels which are entering into the testes. There are lymph vessels, there are nerves also, right? One another important feature, spermatic cord has these muscles. They are called cremaster muscles. I'll discuss about these cremaster muscles and dartos muscles. These muscles contract and relax involuntarily in response to temperature to bring the testes towards abdomen or move the testes away from abdomen depending upon the external temperature. If outside temperature is very low, there is chilling season, right? Then what happens is scrotal skin becomes tight. Testes are slightly pulled up towards the abdomen to get the warmth because of the contraction of these muscles. Dartos muscles are present in scrotal skin and cremaster muscles are present in spermatic cord. Is this point clear? Right? Shubham says gubernaculum helps in the attachment of testes with the scrotal wall. Perfect. Next, dartos and cremaster muscles. Read this point. What is this written? Thermoregulation by scrotum. Just few minutes ago, we discussed that in majority of the mammals, including humans, testes are located outside the abdomen so that there is proper sperm production. The question is, how scrotum is able to maintain a favorable temperature? There should be some mechanism. How this thermoregulation is happening? Have you ever thought of this? Tiratraj, Prerna, Manavendra, let me know the kind of English. Abbas Khan we have from Pakistan also. Hello Abbas, God bless you. Tell me, the kind of English which I am using, I am speaking, are you all comfortable with this? You are able to understand each and every sentence? My pronunciation is clear? Diction is okay with you people? You are able to understand? Tausif, Divya beta, keep hitting the like button. Whenever you find me on the screen, the first thing you should do is press the like button. That gives me ATP, adenosine triphosphate, to recharge myself. Gopesh says, where I will get the notes for this lecture? I told you, the PDF will be provided on the Telegram channel. That is Unacademy NEET Elixir. You can also get the PDF directly from me at my Telegram group. Dr. Sachin Kapur, Kapur. Talk, Talk. You can search me on Telegram. God bless you all. Let's proceed. Thermoregulation by scrotum. There are two muscles. Remember the name of these muscles, dartos and cremaster muscles. What happens is, see, dartos muscles. The septum, the scrotal septum has subcutaneous layer and smooth muscle tissue called dartos muscle. Dartos muscle is also found in the wall. Now, cremaster muscles, they are present in spermatic cord. Cremaster muscles are present in spermatic cord. These two muscles, they are contracting and relaxing involuntarily in response to cold temperature. Suppose the temperature is very low, there is 4 degrees, 3 degrees. Then what happens? Cremaster and dartos muscles contract. When dartos muscles contract, the scrotal skin becomes wrinkled. The surface area decreases to minimize the heat loss. Contraction of the cremaster muscle moves the testes closer to the body where they can absorb the heat. You're getting this overall mechanism. Low temperature, muscles contract. High temperature, muscles relax so that there is loss of heat. Ultimately, the purpose is to maintain a favorable temperature. Thank you, Abbas Khan. Contraction of dartos muscles causes the scrotum to become tight, wrinkled in appearance so that there is less heat loss. Exposure to the warmth reverses these actions. Now, there are other mechanisms also that how this thermoregulation is maintained. Keep sharing the lecture also, keep sharing the link. Sweat glands, dartos and cremaster muscles, Pepiniform Plexus. Pepiniform Plexus you need not to remember, but for your information I will tell you. See, there is excessive sweating in the scrotum because there are large number of sweat glands. Wall of scrotum has large number of sweat glands that result in excessive sweating, and when there is excessive sweating and when the sweat evaporates, that gives a cooling effect. Then what is Pepiniform Plexus? This is something very interesting you must know. See, we discussed that testes are located in the scrotum so that there is low temperature, but you must think the blood which is coming from the main body region, that is at high temperature, if that hot blood enters into the testes, sperm producing germ cells will be destroyed. There must be some mechanism that the blood coming from the body should be first cooled, should be brought to the lower temperature before entering into the testes. So that mechanism is Pepiniform Plexus. You will understand in MBBS first year that the artery which is supplying blood towards the testes, that is testicular artery. Then there is testicular vein. Testicular vein forms network of blood vessels around the testicular artery so that there is loss of heat from the arterial blood towards the venous drainage, and ultimately cool blood should enter into the testes. Is it clear? Right, Mr. Ansari? Next. So you can understand this thing. There is counter current heat exchange at the level of Pepiniform Plexus. This will not be asked in your NEET exam, but for your information you should know. That when you are saying that testes are located in scrotum because they require lower temperature, then what that mechanism is. Now let's come to the structure of the testes. These are the actual human testes you can see here. These are the actual human testes which you can see here. Keep hitting the like button, all my Raja Beta and Vani Betiya. Now I am proceeding towards the structure of the testes. See, you generally need not to remember the dimensions of a particular tissue, but just for your reference, let me tell you, in case of adults, testes, they are oval in shape. If I draw testes, it is something like this. They are oval in shape. Here you have epididymis, which continues like this, right? Like this. So, epididymis is a highly convoluted, highly folded tubule, which then continues into vas deferens or the ductus deferens. So, what I am talking about is this structure, that is testes. Each testis is oval in shape with a length of about 4 to 5 centimeters and a width of about 2 to 3 centimeters. Weight of each testis is nearly 14 grams. That can vary among different individuals. On an average, I have told you, that is, weight is around 14 grams. There are certain clinical cases also in our class. One is this Mr. Senseless Aditya Sharma. It's really shameful for you to have this name Aditya. Aditya means Suraj, jo puri duniya ko prakash deta hai. And what the hell you are doing in the chat, that really reflects that you are a clinical case. You need to consult a psychiatrist, Mr. Aditya, or at least change your name. Don't demean your name and disrespect your parents. Protective coverings of the testes. Coverings are called tunicae, right? There are 3 coverings which you can see. Tunica vaginalis, tunica albuginea, tunica vasculosa. 3 coverings. What are the 3 coverings? Tunica vaginalis. Shall I tell you where we have marked tunica vaginalis? Raja Beta, this is tunica vaginalis, this layer, tunica albuginea and tunica vasculosa. Tunica albuginea is important because it is marked in NCERT. It is mentioned in NCERT. This tunica albuginea layer, it is present in ovaries also. So, tunica albuginea enters into the testes at certain places and it forms compartments. Let me show you. Let me show you. Suppose this is a side view. This is how the testes looks like. Suppose this layer is tunica albuginea, covering of the testes. So, tunica albuginea, it enters into testes and it forms compartments or the chambers. So, this tunica albuginea is entering into the testes and forming the compartments. What are those compartments called? The compartments are called testicular lobules. The compartments are called testicular lobules. There are 200 to 250 testicular lobules. 200 to 250 testicular lobules. See, each testis has about 200 to 250 compartments called testicular lobules. Can you see in this diagram? A very clear diagram I have shown here, a cut view of the testes, and you can see these chambers, these compartments which are called testicular lobules. You have to remember this. This can be framed as a question. The number of testicular lobules, 200 to 250. Now, inside each testicular lobule, you find seminiferous tubules, the structural and functional units of testes. Each lobule has 1, 2, 3. Each lobule has 1, 2, 3 highly coiled seminiferous tubules. Again, let me draw this side section, and I told you that there are compartments which are called testicular lobules. Inside the lobule, you have highly convoluted, highly folded seminiferous tubules. So, these are highly folded seminiferous tubules, right? So highly folded hai, highly convoluted hai. Then these highly convoluted tubules, they open into straight tubules which are called tubuli recti. So what I have told you here is, what are seminiferous tubules? Structural and functional units of testes. Nitya says that the seminiferous tubule is 70 centimeters long. Correct, perfectly correct. Prerana, Sagar Soni, 70 centimeters. The next point is that itself, length of one seminiferous tubule is 70 centimeters. It will not be asked in the exam, but for your reference, you should know that it is nearly 70 centimeters long and it is highly convoluted, it is highly folded so that it can fit into such a small structure, right? Each seminiferous tubule is lined on its inside by two types of cells. Suppose I draw a transverse section of a seminiferous tubule, TS. So inside the seminiferous tubule, there are two types of cells. There are cells which are having highly irregular boundary. These cells are called, what? Can anyone tell me what are these cells called? The cells which I am drawing here, they are called what? These cells are called Sertoli cells. So inside the seminiferous tubule, there are two types of cells, Sertoli cells, and there are male germ cells. The male germ cells are called spermatogonia. These spermatogonia are responsible for formation of sperms. So let me label these as spermatogonia. Singular is spermatogonium. Is this point clear? This is a TS of the testes, transverse section. So till now what we have understood is that testes is covered by tunica albuginea. Tunica albuginea enters into the testes and forms compartments. Compartments are called testicular lobules. 200 to 250 testicular lobules. Inside the testicular lobule, seminiferous tubule is present. Inside the seminiferous tubule, two types of cells are present, Sertoli cells and spermatogonia. Right? Now see this beautiful diagram. Beautiful diagram. How nicely they have shown the inside of the testes. Now you are able to understand what is spermatic cord. Is it clear to you? Are you able to understand what is spermatic cord? This structure, this is spermatic cord, right? Inside which the blood vessels, nerves and lymph vessels are present. You can see these blood vessels and nerves. If you go deep inside the testes, right, you find what? You find these seminiferous tubules, slightly yellowish in color we have shown, seminiferous tubule. The tubules are opening into reti testes, which we'll discuss in the forthcoming sessions. Then there is efferent ductules, vasa efferentia. They are opening into epididymis, which opens into the vas deferens. So this is a highly folded tubule attached with the testes, that is epididymis. Is this diagram clear? Did you like the diagram? Let me know. How many likes I can have for this wonderful diagram? Let me know. Let me know how many likes can I have for this wonderful, beautiful diagram, which is opening the gyri and sulci of your cerebrum as well as your cerebellum. Another beautiful diagram. You should be thankful to me that I managed to bring all these beautiful diagrams for you people. It shows a cut section of the testes. Now you are able to understand what is reti testes. Many times students, they just mug up that reti testes term is given in the NCERT. How actually it looks like, just see here. Seminiferous tubules opening into this network called reti testes. From the reti testes, there are efferent ductules, vasa efferentia, which open into head of the epididymis. Is this point clear? Right? Manavendra says millions of likes. Prerana Rajput says it's beautiful. This is my aim, to make you feel attached with the subject. When you will have these beautiful diagrams with you, you will be able to understand the subject in a better way, right? It will give you clarity. You will feel a kind of attachment with the subject rather than reading those black and white sentences of NCERT. And sometimes that just gives you deep sleep. The moment you open the NCERT and you start reading a particular chapter, you find that it becomes so boring. Here, the role of a teacher comes to make the subject interesting. So I told you, inside the seminiferous tubule, two types of cells are present. Bold statements to make you understand the things. What are the two types of cells? Tell me. Germinal cells are called spermatogonia. They are sensitive to temperature. That's why I told you, if testes remain at high abdominal temperature, it will result in sterility. Germ cells are very sensitive to temperature. Then you have somatic cells, which are Sertoli cells, discovered by Enrico Sertoli, the name of the scientist. Sertoli cells, they perform many functions, Anushka beta, right? I'll tell you what are the functions of Sertoli cells. They provide oxygen and nutrition to developing sperms. They provide protection to the developing sperm. We'll discuss all those functions. First, again, come back to this thing. Histology of the testes. When you go inside the testes, this is one testes, a small section has been opened up, and here you can see one seminiferous tubule, and if I enlarge a small portion of the seminiferous tubule, you can see Sertoli cells and the different stages of development of the sperm. Spermatogonia, primary spermatocyte, secondary spermatocyte, spermatid, and then sperms. We have to discuss all these things in detail in the coming sessions. Now I have something for you. Are you all ready for the questions? All my Raja beta and Vani betiya, are you all ready for the questions? Shall we practice? Shall we practice some of these questions? Right? Chalo ji. All the best. Let's see how many of you can answer these questions. Kanak, Sagar, Pradhan, Nitya, Abid, Himanshi. One more important thing, you have to follow our Telegram channel also. The final release of the sperm from the seminiferous tubules is known as, what do you call that? When the sperms, they are formed in the seminiferous tubules and then they are released from the membrane of the Sertoli cell into the lumen of seminiferous tubule. What do we call that? What do we call that? Come on quickly, I'm waiting for your answer. Let me see who answers first. Sagar Soni, Suman, Nisha, Divya, Khushwaha, Muhammad, Farhan, God bless you all. Answer the question quickly. I am constantly checking the chat box to see. It is Sumit. Sumit says it is spermiation. Options are spermiation, spermatogenesis, spermatogenesis, spermatogenesis. Spermiation is the correct answer. So, I have many questions for you people. I am giving you these questions as homework because I told you, you will get this PDF. Do these questions. I'll discuss these questions in the next session. So I have so many questions. You are supposed to do this thing. Enlargement of testicles due to accumulation of fluid in tunica vaginalis. What is it called? You will be answering. What will happen when the dartos muscles contract? Long-term compression of spermatic artery and vein can result in what and what not. Right? So these are your homework questions which I want you to do. Now let's see this important thing. Unacademy NEET Elixir. I want all of you to join this Telegram channel for the PDF of this session. For the PDF, you need to join this. Right, guys? Now, another important thing. You have seen the way I teach on YouTube. Right? You have seen this entire lecture. You have liked the diagrams and the questions and the animations and the way I present a particular subject. Those of you who want to have this personal mentorship with me, those of you who want that this person who has 24 years of teaching experience should guide you on a personal level, then you have an option. Install the Unacademy app in your mobile phone. Download it from the Play Store, install the app, follow the particular procedure, and then you have this opportunity of selecting our iconic courses, our plus courses, right? These are the paid batches. But you have another opportunity. If you want to study free of cost on Unacademy app, then you can attend my special classes, right, Ji? Now, you have to use this particular code whenever you're going to buy the subscription, and the code is Sachin Live. Sachin Live. Do remember that. Easy to remember. Right, guys? Take care. So for today, I have this much only. I hope you enjoyed the session. You liked the session, and do not forget to press the like button. Subscribe the channel. Hit the bell icon every day, 3 p.m. I'm covering class 11th as well as class 12th on alternate days. So soon I'll be starting with my plus courses also on the Unacademy app. So install the app, use the code Sachin Live, get connected with me, follow my profile on Unacademy also. There are so many lectures already available on the Unacademy Plus platform which are in the recorded format. You can see those lectures also. God bless you all. Wish you all a very bright and prosperous future. पढ़ते रहिए, खुश रहिए. मानवेंद्र, नमस्कार, bye bye.